You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Ruben.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Immigrant Experience podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Duala-Ekoko.
And your co-host, Ruben Ashali. Welcome.
Welcome very much. Thank you for being patient and being with us, staying with us through everything. We've been very busy. Hosting the
tournament. We had a crazy summer.
Yeah.
With the tournament and everything.
Yeah, it's been very exciting. I'm sure you guys got to watch the final video.
Yes.
And saw what it was all about.
And the Jungle Boys.
Yeah.
Fire.
That was great. Well, we're back. And tonight with us, we have a very special guest. An immigrant, a father, a friend, a brother, and lots more. A reverend and a community leader as well.
Oh, yeah. Our guest tonight, he doesn't even need an introduction. He does a lot of things in the community. And maybe we give him the opportunity for him to say his name and a little bit about himself.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jacob, and welcome.
I am so glad to be here. And for full disclosure, Emmanuel is my smaller brother. I just want to put that out there. So whatever introduction he gives you guys, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Well, so that tells a lot because,
So I've been a resident of this city for about 15 years. I'm married. I have two beautiful children. I work in the engineering sector. I'm part of the Cameroonian community. There's a small and vibrant group that we've been building in the community now for over 15 years. And I'm also, as my brother said, I have a passion for building people up, for encouraging people, and that has drawn me into the pastoral aspect as well. Mm-hmm. By training, I am an engineer. I work as a software engineer in the software sector. So briefly, that's...
So you work with computers?
Yeah, I work with computers.
That's very interesting.
and I can see the difference.
Well,
computers
I did a bit of computer. You're aware of that? But I'm using it in some other way. That's very interesting.
Oh yeah. And I understand Duala came 2016 to Canada.
Yeah.
When did you came to Canada?
Well, I'm so ashamed to even think of it here. I recall vividly when I just came to Canada and I used to meet people who are immigrant. I say, how long have you been here? They say 10 years. I say, 10 years? I mean, I've been here since January 15, 2000. So I'm clocking almost 23 years in Canada.
23 years now.
23 years.
Holy
That's really exciting.
You came as international student or?
Yes. Yeah. My immigrant path is as international student. I finished my high school in Cameroon and our dad and my parents decided to send me out to go and study. And so I came here as a young guy 22 years ago.
Wow.
I've built all my adult life here in Canada, all my university study, all my career. I met my wife here in school.
No way.
That's very interesting.
I met my wife here, and she's also from Cameroon.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's
maybe take us back to 2000 January. How was it coming here?
Yeah.
No family, no.
Of course.
He was the first person to come
out of the family, man.
Well, it was bittersweet. Mm-hmm. You know, on the one hand, of course, you leave your home as a young person. You've lived with your family all your life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, first you are excited to leave. I mean, when I was in Cameroon, then a lot of students my age really wanted to leave the country.
Yeah.
For most reasons why most immigrants come to Canada. There are not a lot of economic opportunities for young people as it was for our parents. And so there's that level of excitement. But on the other hand, you're coming here as an 18 or a 20-year-old, you're leaving your family behind. And to make it more interesting for me, I came in the winter, January 15th.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
what I said?
Yeah, that's always very.
Oh, yeah, January.
So
That's
there
very
was
tough.
there was this excitement, and I landed in Toronto airport that night at around 10. I first of all came a week late to school, and then I had to take a van that drove me from Toronto to Peterborough. I went to Trent University.
Okay.
And
That's very
so
tough.
I landed there at night, and the guy just dropped me in the middle of the winter and said that is your school. I know nobody. Around 11 at night.
What school was that?
Holy dear.
Trent University in
Trent
Peterborough.
University in Peterborough.
There's a city about 3 hours from
Toronto.
here. If you take Highway 7, it takes you to Peterborough. That's
Peterborough, then London, Ontario.
Exactly.
corner, yeah. Oh,
So,
wow.
so that's why I did my undergraduate studies in computer science.
That's very interesting. What was it like for you emotionally, leaving home and just coming into a new city? How did you cope? First, like,
Well, yeah. So this is going to speak to my age a bit. Then there was no WhatsApp. There was no Twitter. There was no Facebook.
Yeah.
The only way to call your family is to dial through payphone.
Yeah,
I mean, they are
Bell
so
payphone.
old that I've forgotten about it.
I know.
And they'll charge you about $2 or $3 per minute to call Cameroon or anywhere in Africa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And so again, the first few months were challenging emotionally.
Yeah.
But again, as I said, it's a combination of this pain you have, but also the excitement of finding yourself in a new country, of having the opportunity. Because again, not a lot of people have an opportunity to come as international student.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you consider yourself
Fortunate.
you consider yourself really blessed.
Yeah.
And you're really fortunate. But then, as I said, there's this gap where you couldn't talk to your family easily.
Yeah.
When you want, in fact, the first thing I did was I wrote a letter. That takes 3 or 4 weeks to get to my father.
Yeah.
Like today, whoa.
Yeah, that's tough.
But
Oh.
over time, as a young person, you meet new friends. You meet some other students. You meet people in the community, and they become your new family.
Yeah.
And that helps build you, and that helps support you as you go through your educational system.
And as a student, back then, the early 2000s, were you able, as an international student, were you able to get a job and work while going to school?
I just want to tell everyone who comes here as a student, I hear a lot of the students now complaining.
Yeah.
When we came as international student, then in 2000, there were so many restrictions. At first, an international student can only work on campus.
Oh.
You can only work on campus.
Work on campus.
And therefore, you are competing with other people who are here already.
Yeah.
All the people who were born here. So the deck is stacked against you. And not so. And then in the summertime, you can only work on campus. So one of the ways we survive is through, I'm just being honest, is under the table.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people do under the table.
And the government, because the government doesn't allow you to work legally. So we had to work. We have to do jobs to survive. The second thing that happened is that when you're done with school, you have no work permit. Now it's automatic.
No.
Now, if you have a 2-year and above, they give you 3-year work permit and an open work permit. And then you are expected to find a job in your area of training within 6 months, or you leave the country. I joke to people that some of us have masters and PhDs.
No, because we love school.
Not because we love school. It's because we had to maintain our status. So once you're done, you have no job, 3-4 months, nothing, you apply for masters. You're not done, you
in
apply
order
for
to
PhD.
stay in the country.
You have to survive.
That was very tough.
You have to survive.
But again, like all these restrictions, and so like the support pretty much came from back home. To pay school fees and.
Okay, yes, most of my financial support came from back home. And then some of it came from the odd jobs, like simple things like buying your groceries, paying some of your rents. That comes from the odd jobs that we were doing.
Basic sustainability.
Then the tuition came from back home. But one other thing I really want to celebrate about Canada are the opportunities we have here. Because within the first year, if you're a good student, you start getting scholarships.
Yes.
Not so.
Yeah.
My graduate school was largely paid by scholarship.
Oh.
Full scholarship.
No, wow.
And I think in as much as immigrants come here as challenging, people come as students, we also have to celebrate the opportunities we have here.
Yes.
Is that if you're willing to put in the work and distinguish yourself, there's scholarship that is going to help you go through your school system.
That's a good,
most of my school was scholarship.
Yeah.
You say your scholarships are mainly in a graduate school, right?
It was in graduate school, like the main scholarships I had. And I was fortunate in that I won the most prestigious scholarship in Canada. It's called the Alexander Graham Bell Scholarship.
No way.
That pays you, a lot of money.
Masters.
More than your fees.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Then you're bookwormer.
Of course.
Yeah, let's talk about
Emmanuel can testify to that.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about more about like the scholarship. No. Well, you know, you want to start, eh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about more on this the scholarship. What was it like? What did you think made you stood out as a student?
Yes.
That merited you these scholarships that helped you choose school. I'm aware of it. He got lots of huge scholarships that were so outstanding that we all went, whoa.
Yeah.
So he literally set really high standards in the family.
Yeah.
So when people even see me doing what I do and they go like, you're doing great. I'm like, have you seen my brother? My dad told us this. He's like, he's setting standards that all of you have to be able to follow. Yeah. And through these scholarships, it was able to help relieve some of this stress of all the fees coming from dad. And for any family, you know how expensive international. I'm sure your school fees was very expensive.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Then it was, I understand that with inflation, things have gone up then.
Yeah.
But even then, it was really very expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a lot of sacrifice that my dad had to make, people like my smaller siblings had to make
in
order to have me here.
So with the masters,
Yes.
your master's in computer engineering too, or what's your master's?
Yeah, my master's is in software engineering. And I did my master's at McGill University in Montreal.
In Montreal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And the scholarship, I understand the scholarship, like it's big money.
Yes.
Did you got it through McGill University or?
So there were two scholarships that I got.
Okay.
One as a francophonie. Most people know Cameroon as a francophone country.
Yeah.
And you know that the government of Quebec has a relationship. I mean, if you come from a French-speaking country, I want everybody to know that the government of Quebec and the federal government have these scholarships that they give to francophonie students.
Yes.
I think even here at the University of Ottawa.
Yes.
And not so. They have the same at McGill. So because of my performance, I won part of that through that program.
Okay.
And then, of course, I won. So that took me there. And then from the second year now, based on my performance and through the collaboration with my student advisor and my supervisor, we applied for more grants. And I got more scholarship from the government.
That's great. That's really
amazing.
great. Let's talk about a little bit on these scholarships.
Yes.
What were they actually about?
Yes.
And how, like, what were the titles of them and how did you come about precisely getting them?
Yeah, so the scholarships at the higher level, and again, mind you, I left my master's, I finished in 2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I finished my graduate studies in 2012.
Yeah.
So I want to put it out there that some of this information might have changed.
Yeah.
There are three types of scholarships that students have access to. The first one is a need-based scholarship.
Yeah.
Whether you are an international student or whether you are a permanent resident, every university and the government provides a need-based scholarship.
Yeah.
I did not qualify for that, but the one which I went for was that which is based on your grades and your performance. Most universities and through the government, they have scholarships. If you have 80% and above, there's a certain amount of money that the government gives you to help subsidize your schoolwork. Then, of course, there's the third group of scholarship, which you go to if you're doing your graduate studies. Every graduate student, through your supervisor, there are special grants that every supervisor and student can apply to. And those ones are for people who are doing research. Yeah. And so there's a branch of the government, there's an office called the National Research Council of Canada. In any area of research, you have the opportunity with your supervisor to apply for scholarship in those areas. And if you are selected, then you basically have enough grants to cover your fees but also to pay you as a teaching assistant or a research assistant to your supervisor. So those were the two categories of scholarships that I got during my graduate studies.
Like we also went to, like we're going to school right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like scholarships are pretty much limited in undergrads than in postgraduate education. Do you think so?
I think that is a fair assessment, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was my experience as well. But that said, there are still opportunities. If especially for those immigrants who are good in sports as well. Like we have a niece who just went to the University of Ottawa with a rugby scholarship. Not so. Part of her fees is paid because of her athleticism. And so even at the undergraduate level, there are still different opportunities. But as I said, they may not be as lucrative as you go to your graduate studies, because at the graduate study level, the government is looking at you now as some sort of a young adult, and they want you to focus on research. So they try to give you scholarship that covers both your fees, and that ensures that you don't have to work. You can focus towards your research.
So now you finished your school, you finished postgrad. Now you're working. I understand that you're working with with IT sector. How did you land it there, man?
Well, I have to give a backstory. My plan was to become a professor. And so, if you recall, I said I went to graduate school for immigration reasons. So I went there, I finished there. Then by then, I had enough experience to apply for a permanent residence. So I applied and I got my permanent residence and actually worked for a while as a software engineer here in the city. And then halfway through that, I said, well, I want to be a professor at the university. And so I actually went for graduate school again at McGill. And when I went through it halfway, I had a change of heart. I just discovered that this was not really for me. I loved the teaching aspect, but I didn't like the research aspect that much.
True.
And to be a professor, and in order for you to really excel, you have to enjoy research, because one of the ways you are measured is your research, the number of publications, the number of grants you are able to bring to the university. And so halfway through that, I said, it's not for me, but I finished it. And when I finished it, and then now I look for work in the software industry. And so for the last... so I finished 2012. I started working 2011. So for the last 11 years, I've been working in the software industry.
Wow. Okay. Just before that, there's something. No, I don't think we've spoken about that, but it's a big deal.
Yes.
One of the scholarships I'm aware he got was for an application which you created here in the city for an innovative application.
How did you miss that, man?
Which actually won an award in the city. And it was Canada-wide research project. And you actually, can you just throw some light on that?
Not some light,
how that came
Explain
about?
it.
So for those who were in the city then, that's around 2010, 2011.
So that's around the time you finished.
Exactly. Just before I finished. So around that time, around North America, there was a lot of discussion and talk about open government. Then some of the applications that we take for granted now did not exist. The idea that you can have an app that tells you where the bus is, that taps to the GPS, it did not exist. So it was just about that time where the city of Ottawa and several cities around North America opened up their data. And then they invited students and software engineers, and they organized a contest. And they said, well, this is all our data. We want you guys to build applications that are relevant and of benefit to the people in the city. And so myself and a friend, we entered the contest in this city. And then, of course, we built our application and we put it into the contest. Our application was unique in that it was geared towards visitors to our city. So let's imagine that you visit this city. And there are two ways to explore the city. You can hire a tour guide, or you can have a mobile application on your phone that basically guides you through the city. But what really set us apart was then this concept of augmented reality, where you can open your camera, you look at the building, and it tells you that, that is Parliament Hill. Just by opening up your camera. Then when you touch your camera, it takes you to the Wikipedia page of Parliament Hill. And so we were the ones who built that application in the city. And of course, that won the best app in the city of Ottawa.
No way.
We won the best app in all the categories, and we we were invited to City Hall, and it was all over the city.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We actually, we had an article which our dad printed from the CBC back in Cameroon.
CBC website.
Yeah, he got the article from CBC, printed it, and kept it in the house, and framed it.
Of course.
And he told all of us, you guys should be watching. This is your other brother.
Like my dad blew it out of proportion.
Yeah.
Like my dad says, it's the whole North America.
Yeah. he told us, he didn't even say it was an app he created. He told us he has made a phone. Yeah, so that was literally out of proportion, and it's the best phone in North America.
And they had the proof. All the
He has
newspapers and everything.
the newspaper saying it about
The entire town went down that day.
He didn't leave anyone rest. Once a guest comes to the house, he has to remind you that, have you seen my son? The picture?
Yes.
Yeah, and he printed his picture and put somewhere in the house. If you touch that picture, you are dead. No kidding.
How was the experience?
Yeah.
Well, at first, I mean, it goes back to some of the things that I really want us as immigrants to understand. You know, this is the Immigrant Podcast. This is the Immigrant Experience. When you come into a new system as this, of course, there are challenges to integrate. There's some level of discrimination that you have to go against. And I know each and every person's experience is unique. But what I've experienced over the last 22 years here is that this is a land of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a land of opportunity. If you're willing to identify the areas where you want to grow your talent, grow your skill, and you invest in that, then it's a system that is going to reward you for that.
Yes.
And so it was truly a humbling experience that, you know, an immigrant came into a system, but because of the skill that I had, because of the effort that I put in, it didn't, you know, I won the best application in the city. I was invited to the City Hall. I met at the mayor then. I think it was Jim Watson. He had just started then as mayor.
2009.
Yes, it was Jim Watson. So we went there with my wife, and people embraced us, people supported us, and they were glad for us. So it was truly a humbling experience. You know, as I said, CBC, CTV, all the media called me, they interviewed me, they gave me an opportunity.
Did the application now got used by the city?
Well, you are getting now. Don't make me to start blaming. So we won the contest. And we're all excited. We were brought to the City Hall. We celebrated. So the next step now is, okay, we have this application. So we approach the councillor in our ward and say, okay, now help us. Let's build a partnership with the city. And to our greatest surprise, the city told us that they had already signed an agreement with some other private company to build a similar application on the Android platform. I mean, on the iPhone platform, because when I built it on the Android platform. Yeah. And they said because I've already signed something with that other person, they cannot, it's an exclusive agreement, so to speak. So that was me. I was very disappointed. I went right to the City Hall. I met my councillor, tried to meet the mayor. They said, we are basically sorry. We've signed this stuff already. And so what I did then was, okay, how can I do that on a private setting? And I will say I was too young then. I was inexperienced, and I lacked the technical know-how on how to develop that into a business. And since I didn't get the support of my city as well, it just fizzled out and died. So from that sense, it was a disappointing end.
But a great achievement.
It was a great achievement. It was because it helped launch my career.
And that's what I wanted to mention.
It helped launch my career because whenever I apply, it's on my resume. People see that. People are, wow, this is remarkable. It's there on the. If you even go and search now, you'll see me in there. And so it became a springboard for my career, and it helped me grow really fast in my career.
That's amazing.
A quick
really
joke
amazing.
when I first met Emmanuel. Emmanuel told me just Google Duala. And the first article that counts, that's me. And I didn't know it's his brother.
You talked about winning the award when you were present with your wife. That was 2011.
Yes.
Can you talk about, like, as an immigrant, how did you come about finding your partner, meeting your spouse? And definitely, if you guys were going to the award, it's a very difficult situation for most immigrants finding a partner in North America.
Yes.
So we'd just like to throw some light how you guys met. And
So first, it looks as if Emmanuel wants to open up the secret of our family. So we have to tread carefully. So
We cut that part out.
So I tell people that God so set it up for me in such a way that I had no competition. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, Emmanuel knows my wife, great lady. You know, I credited a lot of who I am today to the fact that I'm married to this lady. Very generous, very kind. And so when I went to Trent University, this is 2000, January 2000, there were only 2 Cameroonians, she and myself.
oh wow!
That's why I say God set it up. There was no contest. Not so. And you know that when you meet the lady you're from the same country, there's already that advantage you have. You have that advantage. And so from that perspective, I had that advantage. And I know, of course, as a young person, you play your cards well, you play your game well. And guess what? In the summertime, you have your cliques that you hang together. You go and work together, odd jobs. My wife and I will learn how to ride a bicycle together. I learned how to ride a bicycle in Canada.
No way.
And we used to go and mow lawns and do stuff as the odd jobs. And then we just build a relationship over time. And then because, as I said, and my wife would tell you that when she met me, I wasn't her type.
Usually we hear that a lot. Nowadays.
I like you were not my type. So, but eventually, she got to know me. Eventually, we hanged out, and I was able to play my cards well, and I won the gem.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's beautiful, man.
Yes.
And like back to the innovation there.
Yes.
Do you think like winning that award, even if like it didn't like came to reality that how you wanted, you said you built it on Android.
Yes.
Did you I think right now it exists on Android, but with different developers.
It's still there, yeah.
But did you like try even to reach out to the Android people and try to see how you can?
Yeah. So we built it on the Android platform. We had it on the Android store. Multiple people used it. But the issue was then, as I said, then I wasn't experienced enough on how to monetize it. And I was hoping that if I could get a partnership from a city, then that would be like an endorsement, that one city has endorsed it, then we can repackage it and sell it to different cities. But that did not happen. And because of my lack of experience and I didn't have a good mentor, I wasn't smart then to look for somebody. And that really didn't grow beyond that level. And then after a while, of course, I finished my school, I went to industry, and I decided to pack that on the side. But now, I mean, if you look at stuff like Google Lens, for instance, that is what Google Lens is today, not so.
They pretty much develop from there.
Exactly.
From the students, then make it how they want.
Exactly.
But do you think even if the idea didn't come into like a real practical thing, like a business in business terms, but do you think the experience that you had there pretty much opened doors to opportunities?
Of course, without any doubt. And it was part of that point that caused me to pivot as well. Remember I said that I went to do my PhD to become a professor. First, I so enjoyed the experience. And I got reminded that research is good, but I love to build things. I love to solve problems and build the applications. With research, it may take you multiple years to research and then fine-tune and all that. And so one of the things that I got there is that I got to realize that my true passion was in building applications, solving problems immediately and giving it to people. And then, of course, after that, it helped open a lot of doors, I had interviews, I had calls, and it was very easy for me to springboard basically from there. If you look at my career, if you look back, I said I left school in 2012. So it means I've just been working for about 10 years. But if you check my CV online on LinkedIn, my growth has been astronomical, not so, because of that experience that I had. So like now, I mean, within 3 years or 4 years, I moved to management. So I've worked for 10, 11 years. I've been in management for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm growing in management, because of that. And so there's no experience that is useless or lost. But it gave me the opportunity, and it helped me learn a lot as well.
That's really good. What I'm taking from this your story, which you're just sharing with us, is like, do not waste any chance you get in life. Do not belittle it.
Exactly.
Do not, because what he's saying now, I connected with, like, when I came as well. I was doing like coaching U10 and kids, and some of my friends and even people who like close around would tell me like, why are you wasting your time on that? Go do something else. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
And they kept demoralizing me, like, look for a job, do something else. But I was passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that literally connected me with getting my job with CCI as well, like the organization, some of the organizations I work for, doing different sports projects. But just because I was willing to submerge myself in this and without no pay or anything. I just so I learned a lot, just like being able to take hold of the opportunities you get, whether it's rewarding you with a pay or not.
And it's very encouraging on how, like, I've met people who, like, we understand racism exists and there are those systematic barriers that like we always face and they will always be there. And like, I've met people who are pretty much dug into those experiences that are pretty much limiting even their sight. They cannot even push beyond those.
Exactly. And again, we are all immigrants here, so we are not going to sugarcoat this. There's some level of discrimination, some systematic, some people just hate people who are immigrants. But that said, there are also opportunities. I often tell people, to back up what you are saying, is that the person who picks you up from the airport as an immigrant basically sets your mindset of how you want to approach this country. Because if you fall into the hands of someone who tells you that, this system is terrible, you are not going to, no matter what you do, you cannot climb above this level and all that, then it demoralizes you. It demotivates you. But if you meet someone like yourself or someone like my brother here who says, there is, but look at what you guys are doing. Not so. You are doing something that people that have been here for 20 years have not done it. Because you combine your passion and hard work. If you work hard in this society and you combine with passion, eventually you're going to rise up. You're going to be rewarded.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's actually very excellent.
That's amazing. And now brings us to the work you're doing. How is you, like, with I have a small cousin at home who is into computers and is always saying, I want to be a computer engineer. How is computer engineering? How scared is the field?
Well, we are living in a transformative season. In fact, those who are familiar with the field, they will tell you that we are still at the infancy of the technology revolution. And if you look at the whole world and you look at North America, they'll tell you that there's a shortage of at least hundreds of thousands of roles in which they cannot find skilled people.
Wow.
No, that's just the fact. Don't trust me. You can go and search it up. Not so. So if someone has a passion in this area, then I'll definitely encourage them to pursue it. And mind you that this is a very broad area. So even if you have a background in psychology, you have a background in math, in philosophy, there is or in biology, there are different areas in IT, as we call it, that applies to that, that you can choose to get into. So it's a really bright area. Some other things that we should be aware as immigrants as well is the ability for us to look beyond Canada. Look at where you come from. If you go back there, there's a green field. Because we have all these things here, but when you go to your place, there are easy things you can do to just copy an idea here, and implement it back there, and you're going to do well. So those are some of the things that we're encouraging people. When I came in as an immigrant, a lot of the people from our community, they went into healthcare. Not so because there are more opportunities. But I'll tell you that now, I look at it, a lot of people now are getting into IT. People are getting into data science, for instance. You can hear people are talking about that. If you have an accounting degree, you come here, you don't have to be an accountant. Get into data science.
Data science and
not so.
Statistics.
Statistics. Not so. If you come from, let's say, biology background, you want to get, there are areas in the IT that you can get into. And the opportunities are endless. The pandemic has also opened the market so that it's global.
Yeah.
You must not work for a company in Canada. Your
Yeah.
job market is the whole world. And you can work from the comfort of your home.
Yeah. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And the experience that I've got right now, like, as it ring your bell, sometimes you're like, you know what? Engineers in the US are getting a lot of money, or engineers in Europe. Have you ever think of like moving out or?
Yeah, of course. There are different markets. That's true. There are different markets, but everyone has what they are looking for. Not so. I mean, for me, this is home. They've welcomed my family. They've given me a lot of opportunities. I love it here. But also, whenever people talk about money, they just look at the dollar value. Not so. For instance, I can live, let's say I make 100,000 in the city of Ottawa.
Yeah.
If I move to California and they pay you 200,000, it's less than 100,000 in the city of Ottawa.
Yeah.
So it's not
standard
just
of living.
It's a standard of living. It's a cost of living.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not so. So those are some of the things that. But in general, some cities in the US will pay you well. But remember what we said: if you are truly talented, the jobs are going to find you where you are.
Exactly.
And they're going to pay you a good salary that you live comfortably wherever you want to live.
Yeah. And it can even attract more money at the same company you're working at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what some other people are doing is upskilling. So let's say you are in one field, but you take some courses in IT, then it can open more door for you. You're still doing that, but you upscale within the same area. Yeah.
That's really amazing. Well,
Wow.
Jacob, our guest
is one of
today
the rich.
is just a person of so much knowledge and wisdom. And we can just keep learning from him all day.
Oh, yeah.
But an amazing thing I think we should all look at is the fact that away from IT, he's also very spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
And it's someone I've grown to admire and know personally as my brother. But he has led a lot of things in the community. I'd just like to, if you don't mind, sharing a bit of light into your spiritual journey, and
of course,
how that connects with your work life, because that's a whole lot.
Yes, of course. I mean, I often tell people that everyone has a religion, everyone has a passion, and so at a very young age, as Emmanuel said, I had the opportunity to encounter the person Jesus. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about it, but I encountered Jesus in the sense that he loved me, but not only that, I encountered his ideology and his philosophy. That is my philosophy. Love one another, treat people right, treat people the way you want to be treated, be kind, help people. And so over the years, that has really transformed my life, transformed my mindset, and that informs a lot of things that we do here in the Cameroonian community, a lot of things that we do in the African community, and also we do for the Canadian society. Over the years that I have been here, there are multiple things that I'm involved with. One, as part of our church initiative in the Heaven Gate area, a couple of years we ran stuff from youths. I mean, like for the younger kids. In the summertime, they have those who are low income. They have nowhere to go and all that. So we got some funding from the Canada summer jobs. We hired some young people. We ran some events, just to help families. Some of the other things we are doing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. In the Cameroonian community is to help mentor the young people. We have young people that are coming behind us, and we want to make sure that we give them all the mentorship they need. We give them the guidance. We help pass everything that we've learned back to them as well. And then, of course, here in the city, I'm involved with a church here, which is a church that I've known right from the days of Peterborough. I am one of the pastors in the church. Here in the city. And so I have multiple roles that I play.
And which is good. Which is amazing. And I think it pretty much speaks to the extent of what you're doing even at work. Like your involvement in the community, and like you have that eye in your profession, but also in the community development.
In the community, I mean, what is life if you cannot give back and help your fellow human being? Not so. I mean, no matter how intelligent, beautiful, rich, or wealthy you are, at the end of the day, it comes down to how you help the people around you. And not so. And that is the core philosophy of Jesus, as I said. That is his faith and and that informs everything that we do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's really
Well, thank you so much,
Definitely.
Mr. Jacob. And
Yeah.
this is enough to learn. And I think, anyone listening or watching the episode, they will for sure learn a lot of things from this episode.
Oh yeah.
So we'll finish on this episode, then
We'll transition
to the other
to-
part, which
yeah.
Sure. For sure.
Deep.
Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been very much intrigued, and I hope you've learned a lot from our guest today. He's been so informative and so knowledgeable that I hope that you can learn and keep watching this episode to keep learning a lot from what other people's experiences are like coming in as an immigrant into the city. Thank you very much. You've been listening and you've been watching the Immigrant Experience podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Duala-Ekoko.
and this is your co-host Ruben Ashali. Thank you, and see you again next time.
Yes, thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at Anyo_2021. # the Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.